Nowadays with AI, a lot of marketing streams, for example, SEO is not working anymore because Google is giving you all the results on Google page itself. Because you are getting so many emails, if you check your inbox every day, you are getting so many emails. So what is happening basically and they are solving the problem of the user and the car owners, the taxi owners. If you are giving some value to someone.
Hey everyone, so today we are going to discuss how tax and accounting firms can build their online presence and grow their business. So, Vikram, let's dive deep into the subject. With the advent of AI, everything is changing so fast. So, what should be the approach? What should be the marketing approach for tax and accounting firms?
That's a great question. Actually, with the advent of AI, a lot of things are changing very fast. Now, in the US, the total working population is 170 million, and you have around 1 million CPAs, the certified public accountants. Now, that means for every 170 people, there is one CPA. So there is no dearth of work. But the biggest challenge is that you have to get more quality clients. So it's not about quantity, it's about quality clients. And marketing can actually help you get quality clients. Now, if you talk about, let's say, big four accounting firms, I'm just taking an example. So KPMG, Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Ernst & Young, Grant Thornton, there are a few more big accounting firms. They have very high quality clients. So they just focus on, certain aspects of their businesses, and they are very organized in terms of how they want to market themselves and what kind of clients they want to work with. And that is why they are so successful. So the same applies to the other tax and accounting professionals who are trying to build their business in this domain. So they also have to strategize that how they want to position themselves in the market. And branding and marketing can help with that.
So, with this, I also relate personal branding. How important is personal branding for CPAs and cost segregation experts today?
Exactly. So personal branding is critical because nowadays with AI, a lot of marketing streams, for example, SEO is not working anymore because Google is giving you all the results on Google page itself. So that means, the websites which were earlier getting traffic from Google are now not getting it because all the other search engines, right from Google, Perplexity, Chat GPT, people are using these Chat GPT kind of platforms, not, the traditional search engines. So you're not getting traffic from Google, in terms of SEO. So that is dead. Email marketing is also pretty much, in a state of, it's very fluid situation because email marketing is not working any longer. Because you are getting so many emails, if you check your inbox every day, you are getting so many emails. So what is happening basically that it is so easy to get one's email ID, and all the people are actually, extracting these emails, and they are sending emails pretty much, they are bombarding like, their potential clients. So, and people are not opening the emails. So that means email marketing is also somehow not very effective these days. Now, what comes personal branding? Because if people know about you, then they are more likely to do business with you. So let me give you an example. We talk about Apple and we relate Apple to Steve Jobs, despite the fact that he was here until 2011. But despite 14 years are gone, but still people remember him. You don't remember people after him, right? So that's the kind of personal brand he has created. Likewise, Tesla. So people remember Elon Musk, despite the fact there are other EVs and largest EV makers, which is, for example, BYD, which is the largest EV maker in the world, but you remember Tesla, because they have created that kind of recall value. And it is largely because of Elon Musk's personal brand. And he has created so many other companies, so he has SpaceX, PayPal, like prior to when he started, he had PayPal, and then he has SpaceX, the boring company. So stuff like that. So personal brand actually helps you create a very high recall value for your other business brands. So the same applies to CPAs also. If they are building their personal brand, that means people are more likely to trust them, more likely to work with them. And here, if you talk about the model, it's about know, like, and trust. So once you start being on social media, you start creating useful content, on any of the platforms. You can choose YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whichever platform works with you. You can choose that, and then you can see that what kind of content is working, and what kind of content you want to create. So it also depends on your personality, that what kind of content you are comfortable with. So let's say if you are okay with educational content, long form content, then I think YouTube is a great choice. If you want to do snippets, short form content, then Instagram, and again you can put the shorts on YouTube also, and Facebook. So short form content is actually all the platforms are happy with. So you can just put the same reel on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. LinkedIn has also introduced the video section these days. So that's very interesting. When it comes to long form content, YouTube is amazing, because YouTube's life cycle is amazing. Like, if you have created a video like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years back, it can still rank with certain keywords, because do you know that YouTube is the largest search engine in the world? It's
Yes.
not just a video platform.
Because every time when we go to the Google, we also look for things on YouTube.
That's correct. So there is a video section on Google, and many people search for content like how to content, like how to save taxes, how to do cost segregation, or these kind of questions. And visual content, video content is actually trending because people like to consume content which is visually appealing and video-based content. So you get visibility from Google also, and people search on YouTube also, right? Especially the kind of content we are talking about. So if you are on YouTube, you have very better chances, that your content starts ranking over a period of time if you continue and have that kind of consistency. So that gives you an advantage over your competitors in the long run.
As well as when the AI is taking up so much, we have this advantage of showing our expertise on YouTube.
Exactly, yeah. So YouTube is basically, as I told you, that it's a search engine. Then you can create a lot of educational content, a lot of content which is more about, let's say, your client education. And I suggest that be a problem solver, because if you are solving people's problem, the problems of your potential clients, then they are more likely to work with you. Because ultimately, the businesses which grow, you can go back to history, or you can check that what businesses are growing. These are the businesses which are solving people's problems. you know let's say we talk about Uber. They don't own all the cars. So the owners of the cars are different. They just are solving some problem, like they are aggregating the data, and they are solving the problem of the user and the car owners, the taxi owners. So that's the kind of solution they are providing. Likewise, you talk about any company, let's say Micromax. There is a Micromax electronics company. uh, how they came into picture, despite that at that time, you have Samsung, you have BlackBerry. That time, when they started, you had so many other big companies competing with them, but Micromax was an Indian company, and had very little base, little financial power at that time. But they solved a customer's problem in India, especially, and that was that they were giving longer battery life. And in India, people wanted that, yes, the battery life should be enough so that it works for maybe for more than 1 or 2 days, which the other competitors, the large competitors like Samsung and all, they were not providing this kind of flexibility, and this kind of a feature where the battery life, the shelf life was more. So because of that, that company picked up, and you can see that the kind of growth they have, because they solve customers problem.
And this also becomes your USP in that case.
That becomes your differentiator.
Yeah.
And people remember you, your potential clients actually. How do you do branding? So branding is not about colors, it is not about logos, it is not about anything, like this is a visual side of branding. But your brand is actually about your brand promise. What are you promising to your customer? So for example, if you buy Apple phone or a Samsung phone, what do they promise? So Apple promises customer, user experience. Samsung promises that ultimately it's very easy to use and it's very intuitive. So each and every company has certain brand promise, and that is how they build their brand positioning. So it's not just about colors and logo and stuff like that, or fonts. It's more about what kind of experience you are delivering, what kind of value you are delivering to your clients and customers.
So this also brings me and connects me with niching down. So is the way that is there any way that niching down is actually helping to make marketing easier?
Absolutely. So in tax and accounting, if you niche down, let's say if you are a specialist in cost segregation or for real estate companies, so that is your niche, for example. If you are focusing on healthcare professionals or doctors or physicians, that can be one of the niche. So that way, your potential client base knows that, this is the right person who knows about my industry, right? Because let's say, if you just think about your potential client, how and why should they work with you? Because of your expertise, because of your experience, and because of your trustworthiness. So if they know that, yes, this person knows about my industry, for example, he knows about real estate industry or he knows about the healthcare industry, then they are more likely to be, trusting you. They are more likely to be more confident in you, So they are, of course, there are better chances, there are better odds that they will like to work with you.
Many CPAs find it difficult to start with content marketing. So, what's your suggestion? What's your personal advice for them?
Yeah, the first step is always difficult. And I suggest that if you are comfortable with video creation, video content, just pick your phone and just have maybe if you want to buy a cordless mic or something like that, it works. But otherwise, even if you start with your phone, that's more than enough. You should focus on content creation and what kind of value you are providing to your potential client. I'm again and again emphasizing on the same that you have to provide some solutions, you have to solve your customers' problems. So let's say if you are telling them that how to save on taxes, as a medical professional, as a physician, then they are more likely to hear from you, you know. And other visual things like, the technical things may not matter unless you are providing the value. But yes, if you are also able to upgrade your setup and your camera setup, your lighting,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, then it's an add-on.
Yes.
But your focus should be on your content creation and what kind of value you are giving
Creating
to
the
your
value.
customer.
Yeah. So, Vikram, which platforms do you suggest? Which platforms are the best for CPAs for content marketing for their personal branding?
Yeah, so there are a lot of platforms these days, and that's actually a question that sometimes people get so overwhelmed because there are so many platforms these days. So let's say if you are if you have a knack for education, you want to talk about that what's happening in the industry, and you have certain tips, strategies for your customers and clients, then YouTube is of course the best, because if you create long form content on YouTube, you can slice and dice and post it on other platforms also, right? So the same video, you can just repurpose and put it on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. As I told you that LinkedIn also has a video section. So you can post the same content on all of these platforms.
Right.
Then few more platforms which are actually good for you as a CPA, as a tax and accounting professional, Quora, for example, and Reddit. So these are the platforms where people are discussing, their queries,
They're
and
asking
people
questions, yeah.
they are asking questions, and you can provide the answers as an expert. So that way you get a lot of visibility. Do you know that Quora and Reddit alone, they have like a big share of the search market? So people just know about Google, but a lot of people search on these platforms. And even if you search on Google, you might find that many of the Quora and Reddit discussions appear in their search results.
Yeah.
Right? So people go there and there is a lot of engagement going on. And if you provide a real value, like, real solutions and useful tips and advice to your potential clients or whoever is, engaging over there, then you get visibility, of course. But it takes time, So it's not like, you cannot expect results overnight. It takes some time because ultimately, you have to be consistent and you have to be patient.
Yeah, you have to make people realize your USP, your niche, and as well as your values that you are giving in so much depth.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
correct.
So, what are the challenges that you think CPAs, tax and accounting firms have, and how they can just come out, just win over those challenges?
Yeah, so basically, as I told you, that consistency and patience. Because once you are consistent, then of course, let's say with organic marketing, if you are not getting results outright, people get discouraged, right? And they feel that, after a few weeks, they feel that, oh, nothing is happening. But actually, a lot of things happen in the background. right? Organic takes time. If you are giving some value to someone, at least you are, let's say, you are giving value to even 500 people, let's say, 1,000 people. So you have created some value for certain section of people, and that way, if you just compound over that, so if you keep on doing that for 6 months or for a year, that compounds, right? And it gives you a snowball effect after some time, because after a couple years you realize that, oh, you created so much of content, and it stakes, it compounds over a period of time. So that gives you an advantage. But the problem is that people discontinue after maybe 2-3 months or after a few weeks, because they feel that they are not getting results. So that's the biggest challenge. If you just handle this aspect, that if you are patient and you continue doing your thing, and you keep following what you planned and your strategy, then after a period of time you get the advantage, because a lot of people have already discontinued, right? And you come in the 1% zone. 99% people, I am telling you, discontinue after a few weeks, because they feel that social media is a magic pill. They go on certain social media or YouTube or Instagram, and they will just become like stars overnight. It doesn't happen like that. You have to keep on working, because even the platforms also see that, are you consistent, are you giving consistent value, and then they start promoting you, because their algorithm also sees that whether you are consistent or not, whether people are liking and engaging with your content. That means whether you are giving useful content or not. If you're giving useful content, and let's say even if 50 100 people also just watch your video, they see that how much is the average view duration. So they can of course gauge that how much value you are giving to your potential client. If they
Right.
are depending on the average view duration, the average percentage viewed.
The longer the person sees it, it increases your watch time.
So watch time and watch hours are also critical. So everything is getting measured. So in online marketing, that's the advantage, that everything is getting measured. You have analytics, and you can find out that from where your audience is coming from, the location, how much they are watching, for how long, and where actually they are dropping out. So a lot of these analytics and insights are available. So that way, and you can just go back and see that what are your analytics. Depending on that, you can just rejig your content strategy also.
This is very informative and quite interesting, that this is not a short term game. I would got what I understood is that it's not a short term game, but a long term, when it is about creating your personal brand and content marketing in order to build your presence and grow your business like anything. So Vikram, we got a lot of information on digital marketing and how CPAs and tax and accounting firms should be approaching marketing and digital marketing in order to grow their digital presence. So we will continue this interesting conversation in the next part of our series.